Cashews grow in select tropical climates around the world, from the bottom of a hanging fruit like this. Just 1 kilogram of cashews can cost $10 wholesale. That's over 7 times as much as peanuts. And in the US, retail prices for whole cashews can reach $15 per pound. But without intensive, precise processing, these nuts wouldn't be edible at all. So how exactly are cashews processed? And is this what makes them so expensive? In 2017, the world ate 770,000 metric tons of cashews. They're one of the most popular and valuable nuts in the world, worth over $6 billion today. Cashews grow in tropical locations like India, Vietnam, Ivory Coast, and here in Sri Lanka. The trees are a member of the same family as poison ivy, and like poison ivy, cashew plants contain a toxin called urushiol. It's found in the plant itself and the brown oil inside a nut's shell. It can cause burns, itches, and blisters, which is why unprocessed cashews are considered dangerous to eat or touch. It's also why they require more rigorous processing than other nuts.
වෙළඳ පොලේ තියෙන කජු සාමාන්‍ය විදිහට හිතන්නේ මේ නිකම් වෙනවා කියලානේ. නෑ මේක හෙන්න සංකීර්ණ වැඩක්.
Each fruit grows just one shelled nut, called a drupe, which workers separate by hand. The nuts must then dry under the sun to help draw out some of the shell's caustic liquid. The most difficult and dangerous step is splitting open the nut, since toxic oil still coats the drupes. Cashews are brittle, so factories used to do this step manually to ensure machines wouldn't break the nuts. But doing this by hand has frequently raised issues within the industry. NGOs have called out some factories for overworking employees and putting workers at risk of burning themselves if they can't afford to buy gloves for protection. Today, machines are advanced enough to crack the shells cleanly, keeping the majority of nuts intact and helping minimize risks to workers.
එතකොට දැන් එක එක වැඩවලට මිනිස්සුયો ගිහිල්ලා සේවක පිරිස අඩුයි. එතකොට අපි අර වගේ අපේ ඕඩර් වලට කජු මද දෙනවා නම් අපිට සේවකයෝ ඕන ගොඩක්. ඒකේ තමයි අපි මැෂින් වලින් කපන්නේ ඒක තමයි වෙනස. අපි අතින් තලා ගද්දි හිතන්නකෝ අපි දවසකට කජු කිලෝ 20ක් විතර අපි කරන්නේ කියලා. අපි මැෂින් එකේ කරද්දි කජු කිලෝ 40ක් විතර අපිට කරගන්න පුළුවන්.
After a machine splits open the shells, the next 2 crucial stages totally depend on workers who have to do them by hand. The nuts are roasted to ensure, again, that the toxic liquid inside is destroyed. The next stage is particularly tedious, as it relies entirely on handiwork. Workers must peel off the husk, or the dry outer covering that surrounds each nut, because it's high in tannins and could irritate your throat. Removing it is a skill one masters with practice. Experienced workers deskin only about 2.5 kilograms of cashews each night. This step is not only difficult, but also has the biggest impact on price.
ඒක මෙහෙමයි පළපුරුද්ද තියෙන්න ඕන. ඒක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් දැන් හිතන්නකෝ අලුතෙන් පුද්ගලයෙක් එනවා කියලා අපි ළඟද වැඩ. එයාට ওই ප්‍රමිතියට කරන්න අමාරුයි. අමාරුයි කියන්නේ එයා එක්ක කජු කඩනවා.
Cashews are graded by several features, like color, weight, and condition. Large whole nuts are most valuable.
මේකේ මිල කජු වල මිල වැඩිම ගාන තමයි ගෙඩි මද එක. ඒකේ අනිත් එක තමයි මේක. මේකට අපි කියමු පියලි කියලා. අනිත් එක කෑලි එක. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් යන මිල 2500 නම් පියලි වල රුපියල් 50ක් විතර අඩු වෙනවා. කෑලි වල රුපියල් 2000කට විතර කෑලි බහිනවා.
Because cashews can only be harvested once a year, growers like Laharu save a portion of the nuts in stock so that they can continue making a profit in the months ahead. But it comes at a steep cost. Just stocking the nuts costs Laharu more than $65,000 each year.
කජු ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් කජු එක කාලයකටනේ තියෙන්නේ. ඔන්න ඔය පොල් වගේ දැන් පොල් වගේ මාසෙන් මාසෙට කජු නෑනේ. කජු තියෙන්නේ අවුරුද්දට එකපාරයි කජු හැදෙන්නේ. ඒක අපි ලොකු මුදලක් දීලා ස්ටොක් කරගන්න ඕන. ඉතින් එතකොට ඔය කජු කියන දේ අර නිතර නිතර කජු වැටුණා නම් කජු වලට ඔච්චර මේ ඉල්ලුමක් එන්නේ මේ වෙළඳ පොලේ. අර අවුරුද්දකට එකපාරක් වැටෙන නිසා කජු මිලයි කොහොමද?
This causes prices to fluctuate a bit year-round. In December, Laharu's supply has decreased, so prices typically increase. But it also depends on each country's supply chain. While Sri Lanka processes and sells many of its own cashews domestically, other countries export much of what they grow. It's likely that many of the cashews you buy in the US or Europe were grown in Africa, processed in Vietnam or India, and finally exported to the Western market. Africa produces half of the world's supply of cashews. Ivory Coast, for example, produced about 730,000 metric tons of raw cashews in 2019, but it exported over 90% of that. This is because Ivory Coast and other African countries still don't have a robust processing industry. Ivory Coast plans to expand domestic processing by 2024, but without it, cashews are significantly less valuable. In 2018, the export price of cashews processed in India and exported to Europe was 250% higher than the price paid to Ivory Coast farmers. Vietnam, on the other hand, was one of the first countries to invest in automation, making it a key location for processing cashews. Today, Vietnam is the largest cashew exporter in the world. In just the first 3 months of 2021, the country exported over 108,000 tons of cashews. Automation has also lessened the need to hire workers, which is a reason many factories in India and Sri Lanka still process manually.
පාරම්පරික වගේ තියෙනවා. කලින් ඉඳලම කරගෙන ගිය ව්‍යාපාර තියෙනවා. ගොඩක් තැන්වල කරනවා. සෑහෙන පිරිසක් පවුල් 200 300ක් විතර වගේ ඉතින් මේ වැඩ කරනවා.
By hand or machine, processing cashews is no easy task, and the world's climate crisis could make it even harder. A 2013 report on the climate's impact on cashews shows unseasonal rains and heavy dew can impact the quality and quantity of the nuts. Just this year, Laharu's harvest came late because of it.
මේ සැරේ පරක්කුයි. මේ සැරේ පරක්කුයි අර වැස්සෙන්ද දලු දාන්න පරක්කු වුණා. වැස්සොත් කාරියෙන්නදී අර මල් හේදුනහම අඩු වෙනවා කඩු. ඔව් දැන් හොඳටම වැටෙන කාලේ කිලෝ 10ක් විතර දවසට එක්ක වෙනවා. දැන් මේ දවස් මගේ කඩු හිගයි කියලා. දැන් මේ දවස්වල කඩු කිලෝ 300ක් 400ක් ඔය වගේ තමයි.
Amidst climate challenges, cashews continue to be popular. Healthy eating trends are key to driving demand, along with the versatility of the cashew itself, another reason the nut remains so valuable. Whether used as a snack, cooking paste, or an alternative to milk or butter, cashews have many applications around the world. Researchers predict the market will grow to $7 billion by 2025. And although cashews are currently cheaper than they've been in recent years, demand is likely to drive prices higher in the future.